Sales is probably the biggest reason that your radio station website exists in the first place, right? I mean, it's not just about just throwing up a listen live button and calling it good. If your website isn't pulling in revenue or giving listeners or advertisers enough reason to stick around, then something's off. Let's fix that. Hi, it's Jim. Welcome to Better Radio Websites, the podcast that wants to help you get more visitors and the most revenue from your radio station website. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. If you haven't yet, be sure that you like and subscribe wherever you get this podcast. And if you're a regular listener of the audio podcast, be sure to check out our YouTube channel where you can get this podcast in video form each and every week. We have more and more people actually watching this podcast on YouTube than we are in the audio form. And that is really something that is happening more and more across the entire podcast scape. A lot of people are taking in podcasts on YouTube. So be sure that you subscribe there so that you never miss an episode. Well, today we're talking about why isn't my website getting any sales? And I've been there staring at the website analytics, wondering why the numbers are so low and trying to figure out how to turn clicks into revenue. And a lot of stations are that way. The fact is that your station website can be a powerful sales tool. In addition to being a community hub and a content powerhouse all at once, but you just have to give it time, love, and of course, promotion. Trust me, once you start treating it like a core piece of your station strategy, you're going to start seeing the difference in both audience engagement and advertiser interest. And that's where the sales part comes in. Today, I want to share with you 5 reasons that station websites often lag behind expectations and they have a lack of revenue to show for it. Number 1 is your website just isn't getting enough love. Do you treat your website like it's a priority or like it's a side project just over here, on the side? And we do radio here. The website is something different, like a sign out front. If it's not regularly a part of your meeting agendas, programming, promotions, and sales meetings, and if no one's talking about it on air, guess what? Your staff, your audience, they're going to feel like it's not a focus of a part of your station. And so they'll treat it that way. They just, they won't have any reason to go there, right? Some pitfalls are that managers think that the station's website is there just for the listen live button. And these stations who just have a website for their listen live button, they will never, ever see money generated from that website. Why would an advertiser advertise there? If you would have to actually show them specific numbers that thousands and thousands and thousands of people are going there for that listen live button. But if believe me, if you only have a listen live button, you're probably not checking analytics either. So that advertiser is just really giving you money for nothing. Others rely on social media alone to reach listeners. Competition is so stiff there, and even if you had 100,000 followers of your channel, a small, insignificant fraction of that number is actually seeing the post that you post every single time. Facebook, when it first launched, if you had 100,000 followers, all 100,000 of those followers saw your content. That's not the same anymore. You have to pay for that reach now. Some things that you can do to kind of eliminate this is to bring up the website every time you meet. Discuss fresh content ideas, promotions, sales opportunities that exist or don't exist on the website. Talk it up on air. Give people actual reasons to visit your website. Don't just tell them that you have a website and online at so-and-so. Give them an exact reason, like a fun contest, an exclusive article, rather than just shouting out the station's URL every single time. And remember that you control the website content and design. Social platforms can change their rules anytime. I've had stations lose their Facebook page, lose their YouTube channels. And so remember that these platforms are just platforms that we rent. Your website is a home base that you control all the way down to a little bit of code that makes it happen. All right. So just remember, if something's important enough to broadcast, it's important enough to put it on your website. And that's how you send the message that your website is a part of your station's core identity. Make it a priority. All right. Number 2 is that you're not using on air to drive traffic to your website. That's kind of what we were just talking about. Your on-air presence is gold for marketing. That's what we preach to our advertisers, right? Well, don't waste it when it comes to your website. Whenever I listen to stations that barely mention their website, it just drives me nuts. I mean, because I want to go check out what they're, being a web guy, I want to go check out what their website looks like. And then I listen to things like Sirius XM when I'm in somebody else's car, and they're plugging their website and their app every other break. I mean, yeah, that's where the only place that you can listen to Sirius XM other than a car, but still they are plugging it like crazy. So when you get out of the car, you have a reason to go and check them out. So some things that you can do is to frequently tease your station website. Find out who won last night's local talent show or the ball game or whatever. Details at soandso.com. Give listeners a specific reason to visit your website. Create anticipation, kind of like we pre-sell the next 15 minutes. If you're dropping a local news story or an exclusive interview online, create anticipation on air to that online content. And then consistency is key. Once you've teased the site a few times on air, don't stop. Keep that momentum going. Hit it throughout the week to maintain that traffic coming to your website and give them specific reasons to go. The thing is, if we don't believe in our own website and we don't believe that it's worth mentioning, why would advertisers or listeners bother even checking it out, right? So that's what we want to avoid. We want to consistently drive traffic and advertisers to our online products. All right, number 3 is that the content there is old, boring, or even non-existent. Come on. If your station's website looks like it hasn't been touched for years, then it's going to repel visitors and potential advertisers, because you have to think, advertisers, if they're looking, if your station is on their radar for a possible place to advertise, they're going to your website. And if your website looks like it hasn't been updated since the 90s, then that is going to impact them psychologically and give them a feeling of, okay, they're really not going to go the extra mile for me because they don't go the extra mile for their own stuff. Listeners expect up-to-date stories, local events and contests, anything else that connects with them whenever they hear your radio station. So the same should be made online as well. Repurpose your on-air segments. If you talked about a local event or a quirky news item or anything like that, post a quick article or audio snippet on your website. People who missed the broadcast can catch up online. Way back in the day, is if you missed it on air, then you better tune in tomorrow. Folks are not like, they don't have that mentality anymore. We live in a on-demand more of a society now. So if somebody missed it, they're going to expect to find it somewhere online. Another thing you want to do is optimize for search. Basic SEO like keywords and descriptive titles, meta tags on your images and that sort of thing. All of these help listeners find you whenever they search for local information. Even if your call letters, if you do a search for advertising opportunities within your market or radio advertising within your market or radio news or something like that, search should be able to show you in those contexts. And you have to think about it in a way that if somebody's searching for something in your local area, they may not be searching exactly for your radio station, but if your radio station shows up in those results, that could bring a new audience member into the fold. They're going to experience your station for the very first time just because they were searching for something that wasn't even related to your radio station. So that's a missed opportunity if you are not optimizing for search. And then get a social media funnel. Don't post everything on social media just for it to live on social media. Use social posts to tease a story or event that's fully covered on your website. More clicks for you on that website equals more reasons for advertisers to come on board, because you're going to want to show them those impressions and those page views and those unique visitor counts and that sort of thing. And advertisers, they're going to be looking for that information. And the more that you can show them, the more likely they are to advertise with you. Plus, Google loves fresh content. And if it's relevant and it's local, they're going to boost you in the SEO ratings, as it were. They're going to boost you to the top of those search results. Consistent updates can push you higher in these results, driving new traffic that you might have missed out on otherwise. So content is the key in that case. All right, number 4 is your sales team isn't selling the website. I've seen sales teams that focus 100% on on-air ads, barely acknowledging that the station's even has a digital side. That's a big missed opportunity. A solid online presence can be the deciding factor for many businesses now considering local advertising. We just had a study come out last week or the week before last, how saying that 1 out of 4 advertising dollars in radio is digital now. So you have to get your salespeople pumped about digital and your website. Educate them. Host a crash course on what your website can offer, along with banner ads, sponsored posts, page takeovers, pop-ups, newsletter opportunities. Be sure that you can show them that digital inventory list that we have talked about in the past. Show them every opportunity that's available to them. And then show them the real numbers that your website and your other things are getting, metrics. Show that people are actually engaging with your website. Nothing motivates salespeople like proof that something is actually working, right? And then show a diversity in your offerings. Don't limit yourself just to banner ads. Let them help you think outside of the box for other advertiser-friendly content like sponsored posts or pages. Have the local CPA write a blog post about the biggest tax savings this year or next year or whatever like that, sponsored by that client. They can sponsor newsletters, podcasts, and other things. Think outside the box, not just the banner ads on your homepage. If your sales team doesn't see the value in what you do online, neither will your advertisers. They won't come to the website and see advertising opportunities. They won't hear you talking about it. And if your salespeople doesn't pitch it to them, they're not going to see the potential. And so it's just going to be a lost opportunity there. And then number 5, you're not measuring what works. Even if you're creating amazing content, you're promoting it regularly, your salespeople's on board with it. Do you actually know what parts of the content are actually landing with your audience? The beauty of a website is that everything there is trackable if you set it up right. Use analytics tools like Google Analytics or other platforms to tell you how many people visit your website, what they found, what they spend the most time there doing, and then do more of that content. Notice which topics that people are landing on. Double down on those and to keep your audience engaged. We've seen some stations that they would have never ever thought that obituaries would be something that their audience liked, but they tried it out and it beat out everything else on the website. So okay, we don't want to have that all the way down here in the footer now. Let's bring that a little bit higher up on the homepage so it can generate more traffic. And it did. Show off measurable stats to your advertisers as well. Like I said, page views, clicks, unique visitors, even on-site conversions, like they filled out a form for your advertising with us or their contact form, or they're constantly filling out contesting forms, that sort of thing. All of this proves real value to potential clients. I mean, I've seen stations dramatically improve their online ad sales just by showing businesses the page view numbers for sponsored articles and contests. When you can show them proof, it's a game changer. And more advertisers are wanting to see that proof now because they're thinking that everything is trackable. And we're talking about an online product, so really everything is trackable. So that's your 5 reasons why your station is probably not generating the sales that you would like it to. One of the biggest questions that we get asked here is, what should I charge for banner ads on my website? And I go through each one of those. Are you doing this? Are you doing that? It's all going to depend on the content that you have. If you're not generating content, then you're not going to be able to show them numbers in order to either set a price or upsell them in the future. So the thing is, your website can just be much more than a digital afterthought, more than just a listen live button, especially if you want to start making money with it. I always tell clients to think about their website as another station in the cluster, one that needs regular programming, promotion, and sales strategies. Once you give your online platform the same love that you give your on-air signal, you're going to notice a jump in traffic. You're going to notice a jump in listener engagement. And yes, you're going to notice a big boost in actual revenue as well. Perhaps you don't have the right platform for generating content or more revenue. We'd love to help you with that. That's what we do. Reach out to us at skyrocketradio.com and we can give you the tools that you need to take your online revenue to the next level with your station website. We love to see the results that we get from each one of our affiliates after they've come on board and they started at a certain level and then they have skyrocketed their online success. All right. Have an awesome week online making your radio station website better. We'll see you next time.